Sometimes you're asked to order fractions to put them in size order, and that can be quite difficult if the denominators are a different size. So there's two ways of doing it, and I'll show you both ways for you to choose your favourite. In the brain warm-up, you were asked about pizza. So here's an example of a pizza. This one happens to be cut into 10 pieces. That's no good to us. This one there is cut into 5 pieces, and this one's 7 pieces. This also 5 because it's a bit clearer to see. Now I know that usually bars are my favourite, and you can use bar models for this problem, but it's a bit bizarre to think of a pizza the shape of a bar, so we will look at pizza-shaped pizzas. So, would you rather be given 3/7 or 2/5 of a pizza? Well, let's have a look at what that would look like. 3/7 or 2/5. Of course, assuming both these pizzas are the same size as each other. So, 3/7 looks like that, and 2/5 looks like this. Now, even then, it can be a bit tricky to see which one's bigger, although it does look like it's 3/7. So that's one method you can use. You can draw both and colour them in, which sometimes gives you a really clear answer, and sometimes like this, there's still a bit uncertainty. So we'll have a look at the other method of doing this. So we've got 2/5 and we've got 3/7. We want to know which one's bigger. Now with different denominators it's hard to compare, so I recommend we use equivalent fractions to find the same denominator. So to find an equivalent fraction, it's going to be helpful for both these. For example, for 2/5 I could double it and make it 4/10, but that's still not any good for 3/7. So what I need to look at is what times table both 5 and 7 go into, and preferably it's going to be the lowest common multiple, the lowest times table they both go into, but it doesn't have to be. Now hopefully we know our times table, but I'm just going to write them out to illustrate what this would look like. So my 5 times table, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, etc. My 7 times table is 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Aha! The number that they both go into is 35. So that's the lowest common multiple, the lowest number they both go into. So I need to make the denominators 35. So that's my aim, to make both denominators 35. Alright, to make 5 into 35, I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, multiplied by 7. Remember I need to multiply the numerator also by 7, giving me 14. Likewise here, this is multiplied by 5, multiply the numerator by 5, and you've got 15. So what you've got now is 14 out of 35 or 15 out of 35, and hopefully you can see because they've got the same denominator, we're just comparing the numerators. Well, 15 is clearly bigger than 14, but as we can see it's only really small amount bigger, which is why it was probably hard to see on the diagram. But I am able to write now that 14 out of 35 is smaller than 15 out of 35. Now if we go back to my original question, which would I rather? Well, it really depends on whether I like pizza or not. If I do like pizza, then I would rather be given this amount, which is 3/7, and if I'm not so keen, I'd rather this amount, which is 2/5, which is why you need to justify your answer to explain which one you'd rather do. Now if you haven't already used that method for B, I recommend you do, but in this case there's no need to do pizza shapes, and in fact the bar model would be probably more useful for you. So if you draw a bar for both the fractions in part B, for 5/11 and also for 1/3, and I recommend you draw your bars the same size as each other and underneath each other so that you can easily compare them. Hopefully your bars are more accurately the same size as each other than mine. So have a go with that, try B, and see if you can use the method that I've used up here. If you need to watch the video again, do. Once you've finished B and you've compared it with other people on your table and you've got the same answer, fractions wise, and you can justify how much of your clothes you'd be wanting to throw away, then move on to the exercise on I Choose You and work through that.